What up? And welcome to another episode of From the Script to the Screen. And what up? Welcome to another episode of From the Script to the Screen, the My Hero edition, going over season 6. It's out now, episode 12. So my disclaimer, as always, if you haven't checked out the episode yet, suggest you do before you watch anything. So spoilers might come up. But with that being said, episode 12 goes over volume 30, chapters 292, 3, and 4 of the manga. And getting right into it, you guys know that each of these episodes, they always leave us with a little cliffhanger. And last week, we saw just as Dabi was getting prepared to jump into the battlefield, we saw that Best Genius stepped in and was able to restrain multiple people on the battlefield with these somewhat long cables that he used. We know that his quirk is he's a fiber master. He's able to manipulate the threads and anything. So obviously with these long cords, he's able to restrain everybody and was actually very beneficial, stepped in right in the nick of time of the battle. One of my favorite panels this week. And one of my favorite panels this week with Best Genius stepping in. Because like I said, he came in with the nick of time and was able to restrain, especially Makia. Because we know that Makia is such a threat on the battlefield. So it was good that he was able to basically put a stop to everything, at least for a little bit. And was able to, at least give the heroes a little bit of time to breathe. But action-packed episode. We know that everybody's fighting at this point. The Nomus are still around too and have another number of heroes also occupied on the battlefield. So we see that, even though everybody's restrained, it doesn't mean that they've necessarily won the battle. Because, again, like I've been mentioning, the villains have their own set of motivation and personal gripes too. So we see that they're still, trying to do the best that they can to still cause chaos. Another one of my favorite moments this week, like I said, there's been a lot of revelations in the past couple episodes, and with the heroes being stretched out the most, being stretched thin already, we see with a certain situation in this episode on the battlefield that there's they've basically run out of people at this point. So that's why, again, one of my favorite moments this week. One of my favorite moments this week, a fan favorite, and when we were introduced to him, somebody powerful, another person who took the term hero to heart, and we see that he put himself on the line to try to save other people, just like Deku. He has an interesting background himself, somewhat involving Deku. Won't get all the way into it, but again, if you haven't seen the series, it'll be something cool to find out. But he lost his quirk due to one of those quirk rounds that we've seen Shigaraki use on Eraserhead a couple episodes ago. So he was actually the first victim, and he was somebody that lost his quirk. But shout out to Eri, somebody who's been working on their quirk, somebody who has a very cool quirk. She's basically able to rewind to the most point. She can rewind your body to a certain point. So she was I would say in the essence able to rewind him back to when he had his quirk. She had to work on it, but she was finally able to get to that point. So it was cool to see him pop up on the battlefield. Everybody was surprised, and he came in the nick of time because, like I said, the heroes were already stretched thin, and he's somebody that also provided more support. But like I've been saying this whole time, and these episodes always leave us on a cliffhanger, the villains are people that have their own motivations, people that have their own personal gripes. So we know that they also have a survival instinct themselves. So they're not ready to give up yet on the battlefield. One of my favorite moments, you know, because like I said, it's a show, so I do support the villains if their gripes are convincing enough. So just because, like I've always said, I do enjoy the League of Villains. I think there's some pretty cool bad people with their own, like I said, motivations that I thought were pretty convincing. And Mr. Compress basically leaves us saying that he's gonna show us the greatest show on earth. We know that he's somewhat of a magician, an entertainer. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next week, see what he does. I'll be looking forward to it. With that being said, let me know what y'all thought about the episode. Let me know what y'all think is going to happen next week. Peace.